Danny Kruger.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr Deputy Speaker, and I'm delighted to support the bill, and I congratulate my honourable friend for presenting it and for his speech just now, and I'm pleased that the government is giving its backing. Of course, it was a Conservative government or Conservative-led government which introduced the no exclusivity clause in 2015, which was an important step towards the system of worker protection that is needed in the new economy that is unfolding, and I'm pleased to see that we're now supporting this new measure, which will end the system of one-sided flexibility that prevails and ensure that workers can request the right to a predictable pattern of work. That's absolutely right that we're doing that. I think the bill comes in the context of a broader question about what the model of work that we want to see is. What is the model of work we want in 2023? And I think one part of the answer to that question is that the model of work we want is one that is not fixed. It is not ossified in a particular model, as work perhaps in the industrial age was. We cannot respond to the gig economy by insisting on restrictions and inflexibilities that are inappropriate to this age. Ultimately, we will end up by destroying jobs if we do that, if we insist on too much structure, too much predictability. But nor can we chase the gig economy down the plug hole of ever greater rights for employers at the expense of their staff. We cannot let employers dictate terms, including unacceptably low wages or unacceptable conditions. One part of the answer to that, not within the scope of this bill, of course, is to ensure that we have an immigration policy that ends the economic model of the last 20 years, in which we've imported foreign labour at the expense of British workers and at the expense of the sort of investments in our own people and in innovation and technology that were needed if labour had its real value, which it doesn't if we have too high rates of immigration. We also need to empower workers, and I think my honourable friend explained the problem very well. The fact is, people are not robots that you can just switch on and off and leave dormant when you're not using them, waiting for you to switch them on again. We absolutely have to respect the human dignity of staff, and as I said in my speech in an earlier bill today, we need to recognise that people are not just workers. They have obligations and relationships outside work which we need to respect. And so the question of what model of work we want, I think, is part of a broader question about what type of life we think people should have in this country. And my simple answer to that question is that we want people to have the conditions for a decent family and community life. And a simple answer to, or a solution to that, or a very important measure to achieve that, is to ensure we have a model of employment in which one adult can earn enough wages to support their family. We need jobs that support whole families, whether that's in one job or two or three or four part-time jobs. And if you have a partner, you need to be able to share the workload to earn enough money to support the family, enabling you to have time for children or dependent adults, or importantly, spend time supporting your community. So I think the right to request a predictable pattern of work is absolutely good, and I applaud it, particularly like also what we're doing, which is to impose a duty on employers in terms of what they should do when a request for a predictable pattern of work comes in. And Mr Deputy Speaker, I prefer duties to rights. I think the language is better and the implication is better. As I said earlier, we need to beware the wrong enforcement of duties that we create. But in principle, duties are better than rights because they imply relationships and obligations. And the alternative, which is a world in which society is regulated only by individual rights, is one of eternal competition, a constant contest between individuals, each claiming their due, eternal legal battles over who has broken which contract and which law. We need a better culture than that, in which we recognise that we live in our obligations, not our entitlements, and our responsibilities matter more than our rights. And that starts with people who have power in society, people with the power to hire and fire. And so we are insisting today on the fulfilment of employers' duty to enable their staff to create the conditions for a decent family and community life. That is a good use of the power of the state, and I'm delighted to support the bill.
Imran Hussain. Opposite.
Thank you very much.